Hello students, as we have got a basic idea about conduction, convection and radiation, now we will understand them in details. Let us start with conduction first. So here is an activity to show the conduction of heat. Let us start with that. Our first step will be, let us take a flat aluminum rod and fix some small iron nails on it with the help of wax and attach this rod to a stand. See, as you can see in this diagram. Now next step will be, now let us apply some heat to the free end. Free end means left end, which is free, which is not attached to anything. So we are applying some heat to the free end of the rod by keeping a candle below it. So what we will see now, that means what we will observe. We will observe that the iron nails attached to the aluminum rods starts falling by one, starting from the iron nail nearest to the heated end. So the question is now, why is it so? We know that wax melts when heat is applied to it. Yes, wax melts when heat is applied to it, right? That means when the left end of the rod gets heated, the iron nail starts falling due to the melting of the wax. Simple. But why all the wax starts falling? That means our question is, why the other iron nails also falls? That means the right end of the rod is cold. We mean to say that the right end of the rod is cold. So why the other nails are also falling? From this we come to know that the molecules of the iron rod were transferring what? Were transferring the heat energy from one molecule to another. That is, the particles of the aluminum rod were transferring the heat energy by what? Vibration. The molecules were vibrating when heat was applied, and as a result they were transferring by their back and forth motion to one another. That is why the whole rod gets heated, and as a result the iron nails attached with wax were falling, because the wax gets what? Melted. From this we conclude what? From this we conclude that heat is transferred from the hot end of aluminum rod to its colder end by the process of conduction. Yes, conclusion is what? Like this conduction happens. Now our next topic is, I should not say topic, but the thing is, conduction takes place only in solids, right? But solids means what? Solid can be of many types. Yes, solid can be of many types like metals, plastics, etc., etc. So on the basis of conduction of heat, these solid materials are classified into two groups. We have classified the solid materials into two groups. First one is the good conductors of heat. Students, do you remember in your previous class you have studied the conductors of heat, that is conductors of electricity? Yes, conductors of electricity means what? That is those materials which can conduct electricity, which can allow the flow of electricity through them, are called conductors of electricity. So similarly in this you will see the same thing. That means those materials which allow heat to pass through them are good conductors of heat or conductors of heat. Same as you got in electricity, here also conductor stands for which allow the flow of heat through them are known as good conductors of heat. And examples will be same metals. Metals include what? Copper, aluminum, iron, steel, tin, etc. etc. And our second one is poor conductors of heat. In your previous class, what you have got about the electricity? In conductors you have got that they allow the flow of electricity through them. And the opposite of conductors were what? Insulators, which do not allow the flow of electricity. So in this chapter, similarly, this chapter of heat, you will get the same thing. Poor conductors. The name is replaced with poor conductors. That means those materials which do not allow heat to pass through them. That means which do not allow heat to pass through them easily. Not pass through them, but easily. Just see the word. They will allow heat but not easily. Are called poor conductors of heat or what? Insulators. Examples are what? Plastics, wool, fiber, air, etc. So, on the basis of this, there are some uses of this good conductors and poor conductors of heat. Like the cooking utensils you have seen in your kitchen, like frying pan, pressure cooker, are made of what? Metals, but their handle are made of what? Plastics. Why is it so? Because metals allow the heat to pass through them, right? So that heat help in what? Cooking. And the plastic handle is for what? Is for holding the material so that we don't burn our hands. That is why they are used for making the handle. That means plastic. As plastic is a bad conductor or poor conductor of heat. So, and our next example is what? We have studied what? Thermometer. In thermometer, inside the thermometer, what was there? Mercury, right? Liquid mercury. So, mercury, it was what? It was what? It was conducting heat. When we get fever, we use thermometer. That means what? Mercury is also a very good conductor of heat. Now, our next example is very interesting. Have you wondered why we wear woolen clothes in winter, not in summer? In winter, we wear woolen clothes like sweaters, jackets, etc., etc., muffler, like that, right? Why is it so? The answer is wool is a what? Good conductor or bad conductor of electricity? What do you think? Wool is a very bad or poor conductor of heat. So, it does not allow the flow of heat from our body to the cold surrounding and thus keep us warm. That is why we wear woolen clothes in winter. Now, students, if you are given the choice in winter of using either one thick woolen blanket or two thin woolen blankets. See, what am I saying? One thick woolen blanket or two thin woolen blankets. Or say, you are given the choice to wear one thick sweater or two thin sweaters. Then what should you do? Then you should or we should always prefer to choose the second option. That is, second option means two thin woolen blanket or two thin sweaters. So, why is it so? Why is it so? This is because air is trapped in between them, in between the woolen blanket or between the sweaters. When we wear two sweaters or when we use two woolen blankets, then air will get trapped in between them. And air is what? Air is a poor conductor of heat. So, air being a poor conductor or bad conductor of heat, it will prevent our body from getting colder. That is, it will prevent our body heat from going to the cold air. That is, we know heat always flows from what? Higher temperature to lower temperature. That is, our body in the winter days will be warmer than the cold surrounding, obviously. So, it will prevent our body heat from going to the cold air and thus keep us warm.